I mentioned in the book this line that says, a lot of cynics say we get the government we deserve. That's the way of looking at this dysfunction. Well, it's our own fault.
Which I totally disagree with.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think we get the government we design. And we have designed a government for...
Frank Berry's a genius.
We've designed a government for dysfunction and polarization and extremism.
Yes,
and we can redesign it for cooperation and
preach.
It's true. It can be done, and the work that you're doing is really important to that.
There is a movement of Americans who are trying to fix the design, and that's the movement that, in my opinion, I need to do a better job of, drawing people into. Because most people don't even know there's a movement.
Right.
There might not be a catchy name for the movement. We thought Forward Party was a fine, catchy name, but there are people working on it that are definitely, very much Dems and ours. One of them, I saw just last week, Dan Rayfield, who's running for Attorney General of Oregon, and he championed a statewide referendum on adopting ranked choice voting for all statewide elections. And that, Oregon's a very blue state.
Right.
So I don't want to say that it's like, I love it when folks within the parties decide to champion these things, but it's not as frequent as you'd hope.
Right. No, it's not. And it's struggled because people are often invested in the system that has gotten them into office. And so it's the rare person who's willing to break free of that.
Yes. So, it's one reason why so many people, I will say this, and this is not on you. I mean, what I saw him this last week at your party. But if I had a dime for every time someone said to me, like, hey, where's Mike Bloomberg? We'd have a very, very tall stack of dimes.
Yeah. Well, he has supported various efforts to pass nonpartisan elections in different states, including here in New York City. That was one of the ways I came to this issue, was working on a referendum in 2003 that failed, mostly because I think we put it up in the wrong year. There was nothing else on the ballot. It was a very low voter turnout, about 13%. And who was most motivated to oppose it? The parties. And so that both parties opposed it, and we lost. But it polls well because people believe that there should be better options. New York is notoriously bad at, the general election is a joke in most cases. There are no competitive races. That is a huge disservice to voters. And there are plenty of other cities around the country where it's just as bad.
So you spent months and months on the road. You even talked to some folks after January 6th.
Yeah.
There were people who were part of it and had their lives changed by it negatively because they were on like the the what the heck is going on side of things. What were some of like the big surprises you got? Because we all have preconceptions of what we're going to find out.
Right. Yeah.
So I traveled the country, not the same way you did, but I was around the same time frame, actually, as I think about it, like 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
And I will say that most everywhere I went, people were friendly, curious, positive, etc. Like there's like a question that a lot of people are asking. It's like, hey, is America fundamentally good? Are Americans fundamentally positive? And I answered that with a very affirmative yes, based upon my experience those years ago. I'm not sure if things have shifted somewhat in the period. I mean, I suppose that like your travels kind of were during the period.
Yeah, it's a good question, but I had the same experience you did. That yes, people all almost universally friendly, and it's a little surprising to me in a good way was after listening to people kind of express sadness and a bit of depression over how divided we were, almost universally would then say, but we're going to get through this. If you'd ask them, are we, what are we going to be able to get through this as a country? And almost everybody would say yes. And you'd ask them how, and they didn't really have an answer in most cases, or not an entirely convincing answer, even in their own, I feel like, kind of watching them answer the question. But they had a faith in the country. And I think that is really important because it's rooted in truth. Like as a country, we have survived so much crisis and conflict. And that's why Lincoln is such a perfect North Star for us to follow on this journey, because he oversaw a period where we had 750,000 people kill each other. And we've been through a hell of a lot as a country. And what has always gotten us through is our attachment to our founding ideals. And those have changed over time, and they've expanded in good ways. And those have always been fights and conflicts over how we do that. But I did hear in the people we spoke to kind of a faith in this American ability to overcome and to persevere. And that was really affirming.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. Please do hit like and subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified every time a new episode drops. Thank you.